Voices tell the story. This life had many shades. I'd wake up every morning and before I'd start each day, I'd take a drag from last night's cigarette that smoldered in its tray. Down a little something, then be on my way.
What up, fellas? How's everybody doing? Okay, don't everybody talk at once.
Doing well.
Doing fan-flippin-tastic.
There you
go. Sorry, I was trying to take care of an event that's going on at the same time with my phone. So, hey, we're all here. Now there's Billy. He had to make his appearance.
Make a special.
Yeah. Well, he had to make it fashionably late. He wanted to show the Cafe 305, which I don't blame him. It's fantastic stuff. Cafe 305. Cool. You're not a I guess a person that's purchasing it all the time. You need to make it happen. Speaking of which, I definitely need some new barbecue sauce because I'm running out. Well, let me put it differently. I have no more barbecue sauce.
That's your fault.
Sounds like a you issue.
It is a me issue. So if we can maybe talk offline and get that transaction happening, I would appreciate that.
It'll go out this weekend. And this is number 55. It's right here. It's ready to
empty.
go.
Nice.
But I'm telling you, it's going out of batches. But it's here.
You haven't ordered enough sauce yet to get that bottle.
Oh, that is not right. I have ordered a crap ton of sauce. Now don't get me wrong. You know, John Snyder definitely has this all beat because he orders I don't know, 2 or 3 pallets at a time. It's almost like he's a meth dealer.
That must be the only thing he eats, from what I can tell.
That guy's lost literally, he's lost 60 pounds.
Yeah,
really?
He looks. I just finished the Terminal List. He looks remarkably like Chris Pratt from that show.
Honestly, you know who he looks like now that he's lost so much weight? He looks like the Thomas from Peaky Blinders. By the way,
Tommy Shelby.
That is Tommy Shelby. That is fantastic.
I gotta catch that.
And there's a movie coming out
on.
Are they?
It's not. It's on Netflix. What?
Netflix. Okay.
They're doing a movie.
Yeah, they're actually going to start filming the movie this summer is when it's going to start, and it's expected to go into be on the theaters next year. By the way, new John Wick comes out next month.
Nice. I finally saw the third one.
Nice.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah. Good stuff. We're excited about our violent criminal movies. We're down with it.
Yeah. So, I mean.
Yeah.
What liquor did you drink in this one? What do you think?
Oh, John Wick, you mean?
John Wick.
Ooh. Oh, which one will he drink? I'm sure.
Do you think I'll do Blanton's again?
You know, I don't know. I don't know if
has that been a trademark, or was that really just the first one?
The first one's where you noticed it the most. Yeah.
I think it's going to be Lead Slingers.
No.
Yeah.
That'd be worse than shooting his dog.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
John's joining us here in the chat. Said film 4 and 5 at the same time. There you go. I didn't even know there was.
I didn't know there was going to be a 5th one either. I just knew that the 4th one was coming out soon. And I'm like what I like about Keanu Reeves when it comes to specifically the John Wick movies. He's an actual shooter. Like that dude
he is.
Yeah, he's fantastic. Like everything he's doing, like when he does those combat loads and stuff with the shotgun and stuff, that is legit. That's how we do it. That's how we train. All that stuff. It's legit.
Yeah, I've seen videos and stuff of him like training and moving through like courses and stuff. Like I guess you call them shooting courses. Like really fucking impressive. Like he's maybe not as good as the like actual professionals, but like he sure looks this shit to me anyway.
Yeah.
So he's no Alec Baldwin, is what you're saying.
Right.
Wow. And you thought it was going to be me that said that.
No.
You're going to follow up. I'm just going to give you a minute.
Absolutely. I'm good for 3 or 4 every time.
Shoot, man.
I mean, that was straight into Alex Baldwin.
Boom.
You had to say it, right?
Hey.
And listen, one other thing before we get into it, I got to give a special shout out to the wife. This past weekend, I was down on Miami Beach and she was in a whole nother part of town, and she did better than I did with the sauce.
Nice.
Yeah,
have you
she
seen
looks
her?
a hell of a lot better, man.
Yeah, she does look a hell of a lot better.
That's a fact.
I mean, you're out there, doing those pop-ups and stuff like that, and she's with you. That's why you're selling.
Yeah.
There's no doubt in my mind.
Remember back in the day when they had the I guess they're pinup posters they used to put on the airplanes and stuff like that. Girls, put a pinup K on your bottles.
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
Hey, I'm here all week.
Oh man.
Yeah, right there on the bottle with the disclaimer.
Yeah,
hand bottled.
Yeah, Pinup K.
Boom.
That could be her new nickname, Pinup K.
This guy. France,
He's coming out with them all day.
So what's everybody drinking tonight?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me pop off. Listen.
Oh.
This Uncle Nearest, the rye. Never had a chance to get my hands on it. Gino hooked me up. I was so busy the day I got it. I was mad at myself because I was so busy. Got home late, didn't get a chance to get to it. So I popped it open tonight. And man, let me tell you, it is some good stuff. It is some really, really good stuff. If this bottle could very well be gone by Monday, especially with the long weekend. Yeah, this thing could be in serious jeopardy by Monday evening.
That's what's up.
I'm glad you're enjoying it, man. That's the whole key.
It is. I get a good smoke off of it. The rye is fantastic. I don't know why, but I got some nice chocolate notes on it. And there's absolutely no burn to it, at least not for me. And I've had it neat.
Alcohol poison,
but that's possible. I'm having it neat, and I mean I could drink this all day for sure. Good stuff.
Yep.
Very nice.
That's one that'll always be on my shelf. As long as I can find it, it'll be on my shelf.
Yeah.
I mean,
the Uncle Nearest rye.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very good.
I have to pick up some because I can generally find that pretty easy here in Tennessee. So
yeah, it's good.
I'm having the Bardstown Fusion number 7, and I just realized this because I have my glasses on. So this is a blend. 54% of it is 3 years, 10% of it is 3 years, 6% of it is 3 years, 20% of it is 12 years, 10% of it is 12 years as well, and they're all Kentucky bourbons.
Nice.
With a very similar. No, that's not even true. Well, yes, they're all very similar in their mash bill, which is 75, 21, and 4, except for the.
We're not laughing at you, Jody.
Oh,
this time.
I'm trying to be serious here. But yes, they all have very similar, except for the second 3 year is just corn and rye, and it's 60-40 on the mash bill. I will tell you, you can actually taste some of the. It's a nice blend because you can taste some of the fruity youthfulness of it, if that makes any sense. But it's finished with the traditional long age specific barrel taste of you can pick up the
older
the older age into it. So that's where it finishes for sure. It has zero heat on it, even though it's a 98.1. It's I think it tastes better preference wise. I think it tastes better when you open it up with ice. Put a couple of pieces of ice in there, open it up, let it sit for about 5 minutes, melt a little bit, open it up. I think you pick up more of the front end tasting notes, but I think that's because it's young. It's mixed with 3 young ones and 2 significantly old bourbons. And again, it's all from Kentucky, so it's all made with relatively the same mash bill. And then, of course, it finishes with the things I love the most: caramel and vanilla. Absolutely. So
very nice. What I was going to say about that, I like the breakdown that it actually tells you like what percent top, because I'm drinking rum tonight, and you always think about that because a lot of they bullshit the age statements on them a lot. Mm-hmm. It's like up to X number of years when you're like, well, how friggin' much? Did they put like 3 drops of something that was 20 years in there and then say it was aged up to 20 years? They actually show you like they're not they're being very transparent about it. I think that's excellent.
Actually, that's how they do all of the Bardstowns. Even the collaborations and everything tells the percentages that they that are because everything they do is blended, right?
Mhm.
And so everything is always got its, you know, what's in it and where's the location for a lot of it too, you know. So that's what's cool about it. It's probably the reason why I'm such a fanboy of Bardstown. So
yeah, that's one of the things I do like about Bardstown. It's right there on that side label.
Yeah,
exact makeup. Yep.
And I've been really happy with the Fusion series. The only one that I would say that was uniquely different from the rest of them is Fusion series number 3. And I still have that, and I've had it for about 3 years now, and I like it, but it has a very, I'm surprised David doesn't like it. It has a very peaty finish. Like it almost.
For which one is this?
Fusion Series 3. Here a little bit after the show, I'll go pick it up in the other room and read off the Smash bill, or I can just pause myself and go do it now. I don't care. But
it's all good. We'll get to it. We'll get to it.
Yeah.
But I was gonna read John's his commentary here. He says he's still at work, but he's gonna get a big old 44-ounce Truly Mango waiting for him at home. Says he follow that up with he's gonna get lit tonight. And then the hot take: blends are only as old as the youngest spirit blended in. I think Jody may contradict him on that. I was going to say I'm drinking because it was storming here, so I'm drinking a little rum to get me through the storm. A little Diplomatico Anniversario. This has been a staple at my house for many a year at this point. Solid caramel vanilla bomb, easy to drink. I can drink this shit all day. I used to have a big ass decanter with like a skull and bones on it, the Jolly Roger, and I would put 2 bottles of that in there, and that was like the house rum. I'm down to just the bottle, but always enjoying it. Who's next?
I'll go up.
Who wants to go?
I'll go. So I'm drinking today. A local was the PA at least.
It was funny. You said that with a pause. I'm drinking today.
Yeah. I'm drinking today. Yeah.
Like I follow all you guys on Facebook. I know this.
This one is I've talked about them before. This is Big Spring Spirits. This is out of Bellefonte, PA. They got port casks back in beginning of or the middle of June or so of last year, and they were able to do this is a 6-year rye finished in port barrels. It is quite delicious. A lot of orange. Nice little. It's not a real strong rye spice, but it's got a longer spice finish. It's not strong, but it definitely got a long finish to it, and it's delicious. Always been a fan of. I tried this 3 years ago. And then they 2 years ago, and then COVID kind of screwed them over with getting port barrels in and things coming in. So they got it back out this year. 6 years.
6 years. You might have said that. I might have missed it.
Yeah, so it's a 6-year rye. It's got that nice oaky flavors in there as well that you get in a 6 year. I think like 6 years right in my wheelhouse.
That's funny you say. I was going to ask a follow up to that. Because I'm not as much of a rye drinker. We've talked about this before, but is there a perfect age for ryes that you guys find to be like around the age that you're sitting there going, that's a good rye? Because, like when you start looking at the Willet, the green tops, the purple tops, now the full black bottle, all of that, they're all different ages. And of course the purple bottle is, I think, the most sought after, right? And, what is that, an 8-year, I think, or maybe it's a 10-year, I'm not sure. But either way, what's that? Yeah, you're just, I feel like I'm having a.
Oh, I'm sorry. For the purple ones, is that what you're referring to?
Yeah.
Oh, they're all over the place as far as ages.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, from 5 to 19, maybe.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So is there, for you guys who drink a lot of ryes, is there a perfect age that like when people ask me like what's the perfect age for bourbon, and I always go back to what I find is the staple, which is Eagle Rare. It's 10 years. That is perfectly aged. It's fantastic. It could be what we would all consider a daily drinker. It's a lot of fun to it has great tasting notes. When it's readily available, it's always around all of our shelves, right? So what is it for you guys, rye wise, that you guys love? Which one, what is the age statement that you go for?
Well, for me, I don't put so much emphasis on the age statement, especially with the ryes. I just want a nice, good, tasty rye. To me, age statements, because I don't know how true some of them are and some of them are kind of mixed up. It's like cigar labels. You can't really base it off that. I've had some ryes that were up there and they were like, and then I've had some where I just stopped caring about it. But like the Knob Creek 9, it's just really, really good.
I agree.
Yeah,
I think
that's a
the
good one.
9 is better than the 12-year. I really do think that.
I agree.
So for me, it's just a matter of finding a good rye that I like, that has an all around good taste to it. And that's not very hot, meaning the ethanol burn on it is not to the point to where you have to let it sit for like 20 minutes, or you got to cool it down with an ice cube or something like that. Like this Uncle Nearest, there's no reason to put an ice cube in it whatsoever. It's out the bottle, ready to go.
Yep.
So what's the age statement on that?
Let's see here.
Marky Mark.
Mr. Mark.
BBC.
It's up there in the Great White
Man,
North.
we got a full house tonight.
Yeah.
Where are you these days, Mark? Where are you today?
He's muted currently.
Sub Canada.
Yeah, Fort Drum, New York.
So we need to maybe put in the mailbox old Shitty and let him travel with whoever's traveling the most, because I think that should be a requirement. Because like I miss old Shitty on the show. Like I would replace at least 3 of you guys with him.
He's like the Mr. Wilson of the show.
The likable Wilson. Yeah.
But I kind of agree with Billy on the rye state.
I thought you were going to agree with me, even though Shitty. But go ahead.
No. I'm agreeing with Billy about the rye statement that he was making. And what I look for in a rye is not so much age, it is the taste. I do not want to be drinking liquid rye bread. I like for it to be present. I like for a lot of other things to be present with it. But that's what I look for. Just a nice, even taste. A little bit of variation through it. Not so much heat. I'm not looking for heat. I can find heat in other locations, but I just want a nice, balanced flavor.
So many jokes there, and I let them go. All of them.
It's all beautiful. I don't care. But
you're behaving yourself very well tonight. You really are.
I'm really trying. Really.
Well, it's the Uncle Nearest. I enjoy that very much.
No,
the old Ezra 7-year. I enjoy that very much. Dad's hat. That's another good one that I enjoy.
I like the Dad's hat too. I would say, if I can interrupt just real quick, Gino, is that for me, I will tell you what I taste on the front end with a lot of ryes is a lot of, to me, I don't like the strong upfront youthful taste, a lot of fruits and stuff like that for me. Does anyone else get those notes? And is that one of the parts that you like with it?
Sometimes. It depends how the rest of it balances out.
Right.
There's
and I know.
You hit those green apples right up front. And the way the rest of it goes, I mean, the green apples fade into the vanilla comes on, then the caramel comes on, then you've got the rest of the herbs come on, then it's a nice little mild peppery finish that just fades away into the distance. I mean, that's just perfect.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what I'm looking at.
When I'm looking at ryes, I'm really looking at, even if I go for a cheap rye, like I'm looking for something at least 4 years old. And like old overhaul bottled and bond rye. It's a $19 bottle, but it is damn good. It's a great mixer, but even on its own, it's good. But you don't with the younger. If you do a younger rye, you really do get a lot of that heavy, fruity, ethanol-y upfront things with the younger one. So
it's a harshness. So I think that's why I have a bad reputation.
So I do want to go to Chuck on this here in just a second, but I want you guys think about this while Chuck's answering his response to it, and that is, what do you guys mix your ryes with? Like, I've heard you guys talk about that a lot. Like, and I don't mix anything.
Ice.
More rye.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, I'm not trying to be funny. I'm being serious. Where Bob just said that he was like, it's a great mixer, and I'm like,
yeah,
okay, that's important.
No,
maybe some of our viewers.
Point. Yeah, for me, I don't mix any ryes. If I'm going to mix something, it'll be Evan Williams Black Label. I'll mix that with a little bit of Coke. That'll be it.
You guys knew this answer was coming. Mr. Jack Frost mixes with clear ice.
That's his goddamn alibi.
Yeah, it really is. And his dissertation. But I was gonna say, like, if you're gonna make a whiskey cocktail, I would lean towards picking a rye as the base for that drink. Because bourbons and a lot of other and weeders and stuff like that, they're already sweet enough by themselves. Mm-hmm. If you're making a whiskey cocktail, you're adding shit in it already that's going to make it sweeter anyway. Right. And so it can be overpowering to cloying and things like that. So for like an old fashioned is my go-to all the time if I want a whiskey cocktail. Mm-hmm. I'll look for a rye if they've got one, something like a Knob Creek in most bars and restaurants. You're not going to go wrong with it.
Right. And what I've been doing a whole at home. I've been doing a lot of Boulevardiers.
Nice. What all's in that?
It's Campari, it's sweet vermouth, and a whiskey rye.
Yep.
Has anyone ever had a rusty nail? I've always wanted to try one.
I had one in my foot once.
I was about to say the same thing.
I'm serious, man. I jumped out of a tree one time, and I was playing in the yard when I was a kid.
So they named it after you.
And I landed on the ground, and it was one of those gutter nails that had to go through a board, and it went straight through the bottom of my foot, all the way through the top.
Wow!
Ow! And that was my first of 5 tetanus shots that year.
I had to get one of those myself.
Yeah, my dad, he had this philosophy that if you had to go to the emergency room, that meant the funniest thing with that is this is no BS. Because my mom remembers this too, but like there was a whole year there where I had literally 5 tetanus shots in 1 year. And I'm like, I don't think you're supposed to get it like that. And my dad would find a different emergency room to go to apparently every time.
Or doctor shopping for tetanus shots.
I guess so. And so like it got so much that like by the time we got to the 5th place, I was like, I'm pretty sure I've had that shot. I can't really even say tetanus, but I remember this. Like it seems like it might be something I've already had. So I the old rusty nail went straight through the foot. It was good times.
He's probably trying to keep Child Protective Services off you.
Emergency
room that many times. I had a brother.
I'm
used to beat the shit out of me pretty regularly. I went to the emergency room with a split open head like half a dozen times, and they were starting to ask
Child
questions.
Protective Services.
They didn't exist.
If they would have showed up at my house, they'd been like,
no, that shit didn't exist when we were kids, man. Gen X's, no way. Yeah. By the way, I'll go ahead and cut in here real quick.
Cutting the butt cheek with the nail, John Baker.
But we're enjoying a little bit of Teelings tonight.
There you are.
It's a nice small batch Irish whiskey, nice and light. A little bit of honey on the forefront and a nice mild finish. This could be a daily sipper for anybody. It's very delicious. It's one that I do enjoy. One of the Irish whiskeys I do enjoy.
Nice.
What's the price point on it?
Down here, it's about 30, 35.
Is Teelings the same Irish whiskey they did the Peaky Blinders of?
Partner, I couldn't tell you. I haven't watched Peaky Blinders yet. So
no. They made a batch.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what? You guys talk amongst yourself. I'll give you.
It's interesting because it was a British gang though. So why would they do Irish whiskey?
Irish whiskey is good shit, man. Have you heard?
Because they're going to fuck with gin, I guess. But,
wait a second. I can understand why they would do an Irish whiskey. What
Bushmills?
Do you know?
Bushmills, and it is Irish because the characters in the show are Irish. They're Irish gypsies.
Cool. So things are right up their alley then.
There you go. Chuck, tell us about you, brother. What you drinking?
Well, tonight I'm drinking Doc Holliday. This is
you showed that bottle.
Yeah, this is from Ivy Mountain Distillery, which is now defunct, out of Georgia. Has a nice metal skull here.
A Longhorn.
Cast strength 131 proof. This is barrel 901 of, I can't remember how many barrels there were of this, but it's bottle number 4 of 151. Pretty cool. It's got a nice metal topper on it. It's metal, of course, and it's designed like a cylinder for a
revolver.
And it has the cartridges in it, of course.
That's nice.
I like that you said the right thing. Cartridges.
I try.
See, that's the type of people that should be making gun policies.
No clips.
Yeah.
Give me about 2 more of these in me. I'm gonna start talking. I'm gonna start using the analogy on purpose.
It's pretty good stuff, actually. I get milk chocolate on the nose right off the bat. I mean, it's really good. No ethanol at all. Little toffee if you let it sit for a while. Caramel.
See, I think we ought to do a caramel thing sometime, because I say caramel. You just said caramel.
Mm-hmm.
And I think,
I changed back and forth on that one.
Okay. I just want to make sure we were consistent on this page. But if
like
not,
pecan,
cool.
Pecan and pecan.
I say pecan.
You remember that one?
Yep, we had that conversation once too.
Mel.
I get tobacco on this as well.
That does sound good. So you can't find it? Is that what you're saying? That
I found this one today. My guy informed me of it, and he said, "What do you think?" And I said, "Well, it's worth a shot." And
what was the price point?
114.
So
I think it retails for like 150.
They get bought up by somebody, or they just go under?
Yeah, the guy was like 89 years old.
So he might either be the president of the United States or he's dead.
Yeah, I'll go with
the
latter.
Okay.
Yeah. I saw somebody on the Georgia Bourbon page posted that today as well, the Doc Holliday.
Okay.
It's an awesome looking bottle. Are you going to keep the empty of that?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Why you want it?
Me personally, no, I was just curious. It seems like the kind of thing that's like you'll never see something like that again. So maybe worth hanging on to.
And as far as the taste goes, it's really good. I get rye spice right off the bat. Chocolate, caramel.
He's gonna keep switching it up. He's gonna keep switching it up. He's gonna keep you guessing.
Caramel, man.
And they're
just
like
make sure everyone's mad by the end of the show.
Like the Brock's candy, like those caramel milkmaids.
The caramel.
I don't even know what a Brock's candy is. I've never even heard of that.
Dude.
All right, they used to be in the grocery stores.
You're a Gen Xer.
And you would
don't
scoop
know
them
that?
up, and you would buy them by the pound.
They're the caramels with the little white centers.
Brock's was the bomb.
Well, yeah, they have them as well.
The caramels that
They're
we
the
had,
royals.
that I had, was the one that had the foil on it. Like the little, like you had to fight it almost to get it off, and then you'd find them in the house like 2 months later, still on the floor someplace.
Sticky.
Those are the ones I had.
Yep, okay.
And then your mom would jump your ass about it because you
pretty much,
left. You left it all over the place.
Ants.
You're like, hey, I didn't do that. It was Dad. And she's like, huh.
Oh, shit.
Don't lie to me, boy.
And I get a nice spiciness on this one. It really, it basically envelops the mouth with
now he's fucking
like a buttery feeling, like a taste.
This one here.
And then I get the apple. I get apple pear and a little orange, like a chocolate orange, one of those candies, the big ball.
I know what you're talking about. You're supposed to smack
the ones like all the old ladies had their head in stuff.
You smack it and it breaks apart into pieces, into little like triangles, like orange slices.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the finish on it is like really peppery, chocolate orange. And it's got like a really like
He's
a
over there
cayenne,
just trying to hang on.
like a cayenne pepper to it.
Okay.
Listen, I'm just glad Chuck is not an FBI agent, because if you farted in the crime scene, he'd fucking find you.
Yeah,
I'd
be out of there.
305 3 days.
If you
ago.
farted, I'd be out of there.
That's funny.
Oh man,
But
hilarious.
it's a pretty cool bottle. Nice presentation on it.
Yeah.
For the price point, I think it's worth it, actually.
Conversation piece for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Make a sweet infinity bottle.
Yep.
Yeah, it would.
Yep.
So Chuck, what's your take on age rise? Where are you at?
That's a good question. I really don't think about the age when I'm drinking them. Although I do like the Willet rye, the Willet 4-year rye.
Green label,
the green top. Yeah,
that's my favorite too.
They have other years as well, like 6 and 8, but you rarely see those. But the 4 year is the most prevalent. Now with that one, I get a lot of dill. It's very dill heavy, like pickle.
It's strange because I don't like dill pickles, and that's my favorite rye is the Willet green top. I don't know which one it is. It's in my
Yeah, it's just very, very dill heavy. I mean, not every bottle's like that, in my opinion, but this one that I have open right now is, and they all don't have that same taste, in my opinion. They're different, and I guess that would depend upon the batch and all that. But
interesting.
They're not all the same to me.
Let me put this out there. So when I make sauce, the batches that I make, they all are pretty consistent across the board. There's no real dramatic changes.
So
in it.
Are you doing this to tell me that this is why it's taken so long for me to get my 2 bottles?
No, I'm just holding yours hostage because
you're on that.
You ain't bought enough sauce yet, man.
Let's be clear.
No,
he's just flexing on you with it.
That's all.
You want this fucking bottle? Huh?
Look what I got right here.
I'll rub my nuts on your bottle.
Jody,
Yeah.
this is your bottle right
I'm
here.
doing
Man.
that. Whoa, hold on a second. I'm not doing that. Take it
Step
easy.
Brothers reference.
Easy. Customers are watching. Take it easy.
I mean, the stock market did go down significantly today. We don't need Cafe 305 losing profit too.
No, we don't. We don't. So when you talk about bottles being different, how often can the batch itself produce different similarities, if you will? So 10 bottles out of the same batch could have a different profile to it. Is that what you're saying?
I think not from the same batch, but I do think different batches are going to absolutely have different taste because of where they're located, and there's so many different variables. You know, the location within the rick house would be one. Whether they're sitting on top of another one would be one. The type of airflow that may come in, are they behind another barrel? I mean, there could be all types of variables go in there. How much of the devil's cut is being absorbed? How much is not, you know? So I think there's all kinds of different variables there for different batches. And I think that's the reason why when you see batches in different bottles, but they're all the same batch, they're going to be pretty daggum consistent all the way across. So that would be my take on it, because they're coming from the same batch. Okay. But the batches would be a grouping of areas, though. So understand that it's not a single barrel; it's a group of barrels that they pour into one batch.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Now to finish answering that question about the rise, you know, the Willet, of course, the 4 year. I also like the one you're drinking tonight, Billy, the Uncle Nearest, the rye. That's very good. And I don't recall what that age statement is, even if it has one. I don't know.
It doesn't have one that I can see.
But the another that I like is the Old Carter Rise, and I believe some of those are 6 year to 8 year, and I do really enjoy those. They're a little on the pricey side, but they are very, very good.
Okay.
Hey, Mark, what are you drinking tonight?
So I got a touch of a cold right now, so this is club soda.
There you go. Hey,
But I just took a sip of this Fiddler. I didn't even pour it. My Glencairn is still locked up. But this is Georgia Fiddler, and it doesn't taste so good right now. So I'm going to stop. But you all know that
you want to be able to enjoy it. Yeah,
I disagree. Take more meds and alcohol together. That should be what the Surgeon General recommends.
Yeah.
you just go higher proof. You need some obtainium.
Oh my God, dude!
Oh,
I'll tell
Lord.
you, what's funny about that is
Don't
I
clear
don't
your
know if
sinuses.
Chuck. I don't know if Chuck has been has consumed all that I sent him.
Not all of it.
But I literally still have not had but one drink of it, and that was from the store the day I bought mine in your bottle. And half the bottle's gone, and it's from Yahoo's being at my house for, well, one Yahoo technically, but being at my house for the
what was that dude's name? Steven?
Yeah, I wasn't going to say his name, but
His first name. The first name.
you know, you wanted to say.
Don't
Steve
take David
Hall.
on the crime scene with you.
Hey, I mean, you're just gonna out him.
I'm
Then.
innocent. Move on here. I'm innocent.
You want me to spell his name out for you?
wow.
David just said his government name. Like Jesus.
His government name.
What is his name, Steven? So for the
David,
tasting, we
You
had,
don't
that
gave
was-
it to him. He had a horrible night.
So David, do you want a lawyer? No, I don't need a lawyer. I'll talk.
It was Steven.
Pull that mic closer. I'll tell you whatever you want to know.
Well, that's not entirely true. I brought, as you can tell, all the bourbons that we were going to have onto the table with Jay and all of us, and then we all poured what we would call tasting notes. So anyone that's ever been to a tasting before, it's if you have a Glencairn, it's like that much in the bottom of it,
You're
right?
one of those little mini Glencairns.
You could do that
Little
too, and I
pinky
should.
ass ones.
I have several of those, and I should have just gave him one of those. Is what I should have done. I didn't. I gave him a full size Glencairn, right? Glencairn, right? Of course, this one's a little bit oddly shaped one, but this is the size I gave him, right? Jay took a picture and put it on the Nashville Bourbon page of after he poured a bottle of that Obtanium. Dude, it was to the top, like right here. It was almost a Russo pour.
You do a Russo.
And
yours is what? It's like 80% or something like that. Like
it's 157 point something proof.
Yeah.
Oh man,
It's up there.
So
Yeah. It's hot. It's put your ass in orbit type.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And then he was also drinking beer too. And I'm like, oh my God, you're
Oh, Lord.
so sick.
I mean, he wanted to
And
chase
he
it,
was.
you know.
That was his
He had a
philosophy.
rough time.
Hey,
But hey, I made sure all my guests were fed properly.
There you go.
Okay.
You did do that. You did do that.
So
As long as they were fed properly. You know?
I like to cook, man. I'm telling you, it's like a passion of mine. I cook almost well, I wouldn't say I cook every day, but I try to cook as much as I possibly can. I really enjoy it.
See, Jody, we're the opposite.
But all that to say, the Obtanium, if you've got a cold and you're looking for something that'll cut through everything, that's the one you
Obtanium will
want.
do it.
Oh,
I
Obtanium,
want to
absolutely.
challenge
Yes, indeed.
Jody to a cook-off. Me and Jody, head to head.
I mean, that's not fair. You're gonna beat me.
get him.
I mean, I've said on nationally broadcast with 7 viewers before that I want to come down there a few times and learn how to cook like you cook. I do think I'm really good, and I think people would agree with that, but I'm not at Billy's level by any means.
Yeah.
But it does bring up another question because I'm really
I want to see
my-
Billy and Rob have a cook-off.
Now that would be true. I would love
that's
to see
what,
that.
that's what I want to see.
But I don't want to
wanna
be a
see
cook-off. Yeah,
I
I
don't
just
wanna
want to be.
see it.
I
I
just want
wanna
I
to
just
be.
want them
there
both
to
to cook
taste it.
and just
Yeah, I wanna
eat.
be
Yeah,
there
how
to
about
taste it
that?
Yeah,
Rob,
We'll
it's
call
a
it a
setup.
cook. We'll call it whatever the fuck you want.
It's a setup. Yeah,
It's a
I just wanna
setup,
be- I
Rob.
just wanna be there.
just cook, man. Just cook.
Don't buy
It's
that
all
bullshit.
beautiful, man.
But honestly, so does Gino though. Like every time I see Gino
Yeah.
post and stuff,
I
I'm
mean,
like,
seriously.
you guys, like that.
Hey,
Quite honestly, you guys inspire me a lot because I'm like,
It's
I
the
wanna
four of
do
you,
this
really.
too.
Yeah.
I just like you, Jody. I love to cook. I cook just about all the time. It's
Yep.
a rare instance when my wife cooks anymore,
Right.
but it's just a thing that I love. But I am not a chef.
No, I'm not either. But I do
Not
really
even-
want to go to culinary school. I'm not even.
I would love to
remotely
do
planning.
that. I would love to do that. but I could not do what Billy and Rob they do.
Well, I don't want to do it as a job either.
No,
like, I just love
absolutely
it.
not.
Yeah.
I want to be able to do what I want to do when I want to do it.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of my wife's friends. She's a teacher, and she'll see the posts and stuff. That they'll see the posts and stuff of the things that I cook. It's like, oh, we're gonna show up. No, first off, I don't deliver. If you show up, I will feed you. You will get what I fixed today.
On my way to West Virginia.
Menu, but that's how I do it. And these guys can't do it. They've got to make to their customers.
And here's the biggest thing about culinary school. People say they want to go to culinary school, but believe it or not, it will ruin you.
Really?
On a lot of things. Like, if I never see another lobster tail, stone crab, I mean, I'll be perfectly okay. I did international baking and pastry and regular baking. So who doesn't love the smell of fresh baked bread, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can't stand it anymore. I can't.
Really?
And I graduated culinary school in 97. And doing, regular baking, I made so much fresh baked bread. It's like nauseating now. It almost makes me nauseous. What happens is it takes all the magic out of it. So when you see it somewhere, or you see some beautiful food somewhere, it looks good and you're into it. But when you have to butcher, 1,200 pounds of New York strip and ribeye and T-bone, you want McDonald's. You're like, no, give me McDonald's. Give me a greasy quarter pounder and I'm done.
I can't tell you how many chefs I know will go to a McDonald's at 10 or 11 o'clock after they get off shift and have them make you a fresh, off the grill Big Mac.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen The Menu? The movie? Where? It's like a dark comedy. It was out in theaters like maybe a month or two ago.
Yeah, it's on Prime now.
Fucking ass off. It is phenomenal, but it kind of harkens back to what you're talking about, sort of like the high cuisine versus like very like basic kind of cooking. I mean, it plays a lot in those themes. I can't even remember all the actors in that. I know John Leguizamo's in it, and but I think that guy who played Voldemort in Harry Potter.
Yes.
He was the head chef or whatever.
In it,
yeah.
And let me tell you, like,
it's so good, but like
I gotta check it out.
It's weird too, but it's intended as a comedy. You have to remember that.
I had a friend of mine who worked at the Biltmore here in Miami in Coral Gables, and he was shorthanded one Mother's Day, and he asked me to come help him. So I came down to help.
Can you spell that for us?
Fuck YOU. So wow, you get to see all the magic of it when you're a customer or a guest, but when you're behind the scenes, after you're done with it, you want nothing to do with it. Yeah. I'm sure the people who make bourbon, they're not into it like we are. And listen, there's gonna come a day
comparison, yeah,
when I'm not even impressed by brisket. I'm not impressed by beef short ribs.
So tell me this: like people like Guy Fieri and what's his name, Hell's Kitchen guy. How do they appear to stay fresh into it and still love it?
Because they get paid a lot of money.
Let me tell you about all these cooking shows. So your Rachel Ray's, your Gordon Ramsay, your Guy Fieri, all these guys. When you see a cooking show, the host of the show does zero cooking. Meanwhile, there's like 10 interns in some dungeon doing all the legwork. And through TV magic, here it is when it's done. They do zero cooking. They do zero prep. They do nothing.
I agree with you, but like Steve Ranella, who is he's a chef as well, but he's also he has his own cookbooks and stuff, and he does he kills everything that he eats, and that's what he puts in his fridge and stuff. When you listen to him and you listen to his podcast or you watch his shows and stuff like that, or read his books, he sounds genuinely into it. Like,
because he's a chef, not a celebrity.
No, he is a celebrity.
He's a chef. He's not a celebrity. He's a chef.
I would say he's a celebrity when it comes to hunting for sure. Maybe he's a chef when it comes to cooking. But man, I sit and watch him, and I wish I had all of the, like, I don't have the opportunity to kill all the things he has. But hey, that takes me to another question. So like you've seen when I post stuff, for me, my pairings. Do you guys feel like when you're cooking yourself, do you pair anything with what you're, like a drink with what you're cooking? Do you have a significant other that you go to, or is it something different based upon what you're cooking that day? And by the way, BBC, you see I have your shirt on here.
So when I got the smoker out, I line up what I'm gonna drink with the number of cigars I'm gonna have. When I'm prepping, I like to have on some sort of music. I try not to get too wasted when I'm prepping because I don't want to cut my fingers off. But when I get out to the smoker, I put the chair there, I get my fire started, and I could tell you I probably pick 4 or 5 cigars and find a bottle that I'm going to send to the afterlife.
That's funny.
I don't when I'm cooking it, when I do cook at home, I don't cook to pair. I don't pair anything to what I'm cooking.
Okay.
It's just not something I really care to do. If I feel like having something hot and spicy, I'll pick a hot or something that's not going to overpower it. But I really don't go down, and say, I'm going to do this with this, or I'm going to do this with that. It's just not me.
I can understand that. I was just curious because I do take a conscious effort, but I enjoy cooking. I'm not being paid to do it, right? So I just enjoy cooking, and so I'll figure out what I'm going to make that day, and then I try to figure out what I want to potentially drink with it, right? While I'm cooking, and it may change. I may start out with something, for example, like Rare Character, and I'm like, this is fantastic, but like halfway through my cooking, I may go, you know what, I'm feeling more of an Eagle Rare, or I'm feeling more of a Bardstown, or whatever it might be. Elijah Craig Toasted, or Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, or something of that nature. I was just curious because for me, and I'm definitely not at the level you guys are at when it comes to cooking by any means, but I've really, really enjoyed it. I invested a lot of money and time into it. And it feels more like a passion for me to have something to do now that I've already I made it to, through all the education I wanted to pursue, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And so now I'm just really doing it because I enjoy it. I have no dreams of being a chef, like a professional chef or anything like that. I just really like having nice equipment and being able to cook nice food and feel like I'm preparing something for my family where they go, man, this was great. Make sense?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I enjoy the accolades of a meal that I prepared for others. So coming up this Monday, the wife is doing something for one of her employees at the station. So I'm going to put out a spread. So for me, I put effort into that, knowing that it's for somebody else.
Right.
For me, I can tell you this: doing brisket and ribs and pork butts, all that stuff, making sauce, believe it or not, it's actually very boring to me because it's all about consistency. Controlling my fire, the seasoning, making sure everything's at the right temp. It's very scientific, if you will, very methodical, but it's actually quite boring.
Yeah.
It's Billy. It's nice when you have good equipment and you can make some sauce with your good equipment.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I want to finish with one final question from me on this. So as a novice chef, I've invested a lot of money in some great knives. So like the house knives, like the in the kitchen knives, are all Wusthoffs, the classics, and they're beautiful and they're really awesome knives. But I have like what I call my knives, and I have them in a bag, in the leather bag and all that stuff, or roll, knife roll. Have them in that, and I bought some Cetos, and then I have a Wusthof Chef Ramsay knife, signature knife, and then I have I'm sorry. That's just who I am, man. I mean,
I need to hear what Billy.
So just so you know, me and Rob are laughing at you.
I don't care. I don't care. It's a nice knife. It's a classic Wusthof. I still like it.
Is the Wusthof, is that like the Willett pot still of knives or something?
No, nobody on here is going to say that. That's not true.
No.
Now, Wusthof is probably I mean, you can look it up yourself. It's probably the top knives on the market, when it comes to, I think it comes between them and maybe one Japanese knife.
I think Billy may have a different opinion than you. I don't know where I'm getting that from. I'm just reading the tea leaves there in the bottom of my glass. But I think Billy might disagree.
So here's the thing. When it comes to knives, you really have to do your research. I'm not going to say Wustofs or bad knives because obviously they're not. But it's the Blantons of knives, if you will.
Oh, there you go.
They're very hyped. They're very expensive. They're very nice. Don't get me wrong. But that's the kind of knives you find at like Williams-Sonoma. But somebody who's using their gear every day.
That's not entirely true. You're not going to get at Williams-Sonoma. You're not going to get the classic series. You're going to get their stamps.
Oh yeah, you can.
I've never seen.
Absolutely.
That.
Yeah. So, but it's nothing wrong with Wustofs. There's absolutely nothing wrong with them. The biggest thing is this: it's really a really nice knife. So you use it for really nice items, But if I'm breaking down, a leg of lamb or something like that, or like this weekend I'm doing the grand opening for 4-wheel parts here in Miami, and I'm gonna use an everyday knife to break stuff down, only because that knife is gonna kind of get mistreated a little bit. So, if you want to show off and you're doing a nice presentation, then absolutely. There's nothing wrong with those knives. Absolutely. But, like if I had to choose a really nice slicer, I have a scimitar, that thing, and I kid you not, one slice, it will take your head clean off. I'm even cautious with it. You can't have a oops moment with that thing because
That's like my one that I forget what it's called, but it has a katana. It's made like a katana blade.
I like the folded steel or whatever.
Well, it's all Damascus, but it's the top one right up here. The littlest one.
Gotta hold it still, man. I see it.
My Parkinson's is kicking in.
Oh, Jesus.
So.
I'm not. I'm not a knife hype guy. I mean, I'm looking for something to get the job done. Especially if I'm doing a lot of processing.
So the vibe is that those are fancy knives, but they're not really like workhorses, basically. And if you're professional, you're going to need a workhorse.
I wouldn't use them for a workhorse knife. If I was doing a presentation, I'd pull out my knife, my nice knife kit. Mark, you're killing us down there, man. I would pull out my nice set of knives and have them laying out there in the nice, beautiful knife kit, looking cool. But if I'm gonna sit down and butcher 500, 600, 700 pounds of beef for an event or whatever, I need something that's gonna be sharp, that can get me through an entire processing event, not something that I can have look pretty.
Woo-wee.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
So this is not the type of thing you have an oops moment with, because you'll be going to the hospital with your finger in the cup.
So that and alcohol are probably not good bedfellows.
Ooh.
There you go.
Brisket.
Damn.
And a nice slice.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
Got one of those. Yep.
This right here is $80 all day. But again, this is not the kind of thing where from point A to point B, you don't want to have a oops moment with.
What's the blade length on that? I mean, that thing looks like a freaking machete.
This one's 12 and a half, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it looked like 14, but
yeah.
Hey, Billy.
It could be. Yeah.
Now, you sure that didn't come from Lil Haiti?
Baker said, "Don't use that to cut clear ice."
No, John, that would
probably not a good thing to
ice
cut clear ice
Never
with.
could stick with it.
No, and again, there's nothing wrong with Woolsoffs. I think they're great knives. It's just when you're doing grunt work, when you gotta, trim 8 briskets, you want something fast and sharp like this.
Yep.
And so what happens is this would be your clean hand, and this would be your wet hand. So this would be using for picking up a piece of fat, and you slice, but you always keep this hand dry. This is not the hand you want to be slippery. Yeah,
that makes sense.
But I get what you're saying, and I think what you're really meaning to look at it is like Jody's knives, great knives, but they're not the ones that you want to use all the time because those are expensive knives.
Yes, absolutely. So I wouldn't
you've got your work knives and you've got your display knives.
Right. I wouldn't
say your display. I use
I understand what you're saying.
But cooking that you're doing, it doesn't sound like it's a problem.
I'm not
right.
Yeah.
So just to kind of close it out, I wouldn't use my Woolstoff to cut lobster tails, split lobster tails down.
I have though.
I mean, you can, but that's the kind of. So here's the thing: your best friend is a sharp knife, and doing stuff like that is going to dull your knife out. If you have to cut yourself, you want to cut yourself with a nice sharp knife because it's like a scalpel.
Yep.
It feels better.
Can you not just get them? I mean, like I get my neighbor sharpens knives, so I can get mine sharpened anytime I want.
Mm-hmm.
He's fantastic with it. I would, my K-bar that I never use. He was like, "Hey, you got any knives for me to sharpen?" I'm like, I hadn't had this thing sharpened since I was in the military, and he sharpened it up, and I do that thing right there. I'm glad nobody was looking for people that own K-bar knives when, Idaho happened, because I was like, I have one that's really, really sharp.
But before we get out of here, Chuck, what we got for bourbon news? What's new and interesting coming?
Well, it's really slow right now, but Blue Run has a new barrel program, single barrel program called Chosen that they're going to be rolling out here very soon. And so, that's something to look forward to for people that are interested in, getting a single barrel of their product. And, the only other products that are really coming out, I heard today that Blood Oath should be rolling out here sometime soon, but last year it ended up coming out in June, I believe. So depends on how things go with that, because everything seems like it's slow, to roll out. I mean, look at the E.H. Taylor, the barrel proof rye that was supposed to come out last year. That still hasn't hit the street yet at all. No distribution on that one yet. So I don't know what they're doing. And there's been no word of what they're coming out with for this year as the special release. So will they be just delaying it from last year to this year? Who knows? But
is that to build hype for the product?
No, with those products, you really don't need to build hype, because the hype train with with Sazerac products is off the charts right now. It has been probably since 2015.
Okay. So speaking of new releases, whoever orders sauce, I'll send you guys the new Buffalo Ranch along with it. So it's still kind of in development, but I'll send that out to you guys as well. So
Penelope, by the way, is fantastic.
Yeah. Wow.
Yes, it is.
Good stuff.
That stuff right there is going to be bought up by some. Well, we made our prediction on that earlier in the year. That it's going to be. I think it's going to be
not.
Yeah,
I hope not. But yeah, it's probably.
Yeah. And yes, John mentioned that our Architect build number 5 is out. It came out 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it. I have not had that one.
It's on my to find list.
But they could be moving facilities. I'm telling you.
Baker says they are moving facilities.
But that doesn't mean that someone isn't going to buy them out, because I think that's going to happen. It's just my guess. I could be completely wrong, and I'm okay with being wrong. But
they're getting way too popular. Yeah, someone's going to snap them up.
Well, they're the best value, I think, right now. One of the best values out there in bourbon right now, next to
give it 2 years.
Elijah Craig products are, the 12-year barrel proofs that they have out are pretty darn good for what, $69, $70.
You can find them for that price.
Yes.
Yeah. Rob, didn't you find something like that recently? Was it you?
Oh no, I forget what. There was something down in Kentucky. When I was at Party Source. I noticed you were talking about the Bardstown. I just saw a picture somebody posted. Somebody is selling the Bardstown Origin Series at $154 a bottle already.
See, that's what I'm afraid of here. I know Chuck sent me one, and I'm very appreciative of it.
That should be there tomorrow.
Cool deal.
Well, I saw them I posted on this guy's picture. I'm like, I just saw them at Party Source 2 weeks ago. They were $49 and $54 a bottle.
Right.
How are they already up to 154?
Well, there's a big secondary for those right now.
Well, this wasn't secondary. This was just a guy from the local store. I'm like, you're kidding me. In 2 weeks.
Hopefully next weekend when I'm up at the pairing with Bardstown and the Chef's Mill, I'm hoping that I'll get the opportunity to get their new chef's collaboration. So if I do, I will let you guys know. If not, I will pretend like I got it and lie to you.
There you go.
What did everybody think about the Super Bowl?
What?
The Super Bowl. What you guys think about it?
What's that?
The commercials suck.
I'm gonna say this.
The big sports ball game.
I'm gonna say this real quick. I did watch it. Had a bunch of people over, and everybody was pulling for Philly, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I had my family over, which was a bunch of people. All right. And everybody's pulling for Philly. I didn't really care either way. I just wanted it to be a good game. I don't have any love for either team, to be honest with you. Though Lincoln Riley did coach both the quarterbacks, and so therefore I was a big fan of that. But here's my big takeaway. So I had never heard Lift Their Voices or Lift All Voices or whatever, and I thought that was pretty. I'm being honest, I never had heard it before, and I thought that was a pretty rendition of it. I thought Chris Stapleton's version of the Star Spangled Banner was probably the second best Star Spangled Banner in the history of Star Spangled Banners, right behind Whitney Houston. That's just my opinion.
Yes, sir.
And then everybody was talking nonsense about Rihanna. I didn't even know who Rihanna was. Remember, I asked you guys about that a couple weeks ago. I was like, yeah, supposedly there's somebody like Rihanna. And I don't remember who said it, but someone said, yeah, she's like this hip hop artist or whatever. And I'm like, I don't even know who she is. I actually enjoyed her songs, like, but I didn't know who she was. And then I find out she's pregnant, and I'm like, they had her on that platform going up to the ceiling, and she was pregnant. I'm like, that's like, I don't want to go on the platform now, and I used to jump out of planes. You know,
I was asking my wife. I says, is she pregnant?
I didn't know she was pregnant until I
couldn't really tell. It was found out afterwards. It was like, is she pregnant or she needs to step away from the buffet?
Well, see, I didn't say
I thought.
I didn't say that because of the whole Izzo thing and stuff like that. Who knows what's sexy now? So I just chose not to say anything.
Well, I'll say it for the record on this show, Lizzo is not. Thank you very much.
No, but she's a hell of a flute player.
I bet.
I will tell you. Sunday night is the night I started binging the Jack Ryan thing on Prime.
I'm gonna have to do that then if it's that good. I'm gonna have to do that.
I like the last season.
Watch a lick of the Super Bowl.
The last episode was, I found to be a little bit, no spoilers, a little bit underwhelming compared to like stuff going on in the middle of the season, which was excellent. And I was like, this is how it ends? Okay, not bad, but okay.
Well, what did you think about how the way without giving spoilers, how the Peaky Blinders?
Oh, Peaky Blinders. Well,
by the way, there's a new terminal list coming out.
Yeah, I figured because this isn't like book 2 or something like that or whatever. Yeah, I love Peaky Blinders. I kind of followed it since that. How'd you like how it ended though? Well, it's not over. Like,
no, there's not going to be another season.
Really?
Really.
That was the ending.
That was the ending. But they are going to do a movie. That's all it's coming out.
And I'll take the movie because it really didn't. I don't know. Didn't really put a bow on the.
There's like 6 or 7 seasons. That isn't.
But I keep going.
There's
Like, are they going to
6
renew this? I
How
can't
many
tell how
seasons?
popular it is. Like,
No, it was very popular. That's the reason why they're doing a movie. It's just that the director said that he is not going to do. I didn't know that girl, Polly, actually literally died, like in real life.
Oh shit!
That's the reason why they killed her off. Is that she
my.
died in real life of cancer.
Oh, that's terrible.
I was just having
way to end the show. Damn.
Yeah. All right, guys, y'all have a great night, and we'll see.
Nice and uplifting.
But no,
I
the
didn't know
series
that.
is fantastic.
Yeah, no, I love the series.
Yeah.
But I was just, what do you
Tom
think about that
Hardy's
last
character in
episode?
there?
The last episode.
I don't remember the exact last episode because it's been a couple of years since I've seen it. So
yeah, I had seen it on there for a numerous amount of times, and I was like, I should probably watch this, and I just didn't think I would get into it. And then I started watching one episode, and I was like, I am totally into this. Actually, I was into it 5 minutes into it when they had the peaky hats on and they had the razor blades in the hats, and I was like, I love this. This is the greatest show ever.
Yeah, that's one of my skellies is called the Peaky, and it was based off of that. I think I got it over here somewhere. Yeah, this one. Yeah, the wool one that I have. This is the Peaky. But if you look at like how much, like he's got like the big, like it's like billowed out on the sides.
They have
like
a store for all that. I'm actually doing a room downstairs that's going to be like a solitary speakeasy room for myself, with a leather chair in it and place to sit and all that. And I'm actually going to see if I can't find one of those paintings of Thomas Shelby on that horse when he's on the horse.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That was an awesome scene. And so that's how I found out that they had their own store. Like you can buy their entire outfits. And I was like, huh?
Damn.
Are they doing a Comic-Con of that? Because dude, I'm in.
No, but it's made this style popular in men's suits and stuff like that. And I was telling you,
I wish
for my wedding, I'm
trying
trying
like
to
all the time. Yeah,
I'm trying to rock something kind of in that vein. Maybe not.
Dude, I told you, I'm your Huckleberry. If you want to make that happen,
I hear you.
You gotta get past Janie. But
yeah, I already know it's not gonna happen. So
really,
yeah.
Well, I tried. Can I just show up with a sign and also one of those suits?
You can totally wear a suit like that. There's no one's gonna stop you.
I've already got the hat. I've got a couple of those hats.
Oh, dude.
I like those hats.
Well, as you can see,
yeah.
No, I got the same problem. I'm bald as hell. So
it is what it is, man.
Yeah.
I bet Chuck doesn't even own a hat. He's just too busy being sexy with that hair.
He's like fat.
You can't jealous of that. You can't contain that.
No.
It's irrepressible.
It's Flavio to you.
Hey, do you still carry a hairbrush in your back pocket?
Yeah.
He busted out.
The only reason why I know that because I had long hair like yours, Chuck, back in the day. I know this seems really crazy, but I did. And I used to carry that back in the 80s. That was popular to carry a hairbrush in your back pocket, and you couldn't sit down with it, kind of like what you just did. You had to put it in, like on the table next to you or in your book bag or whatever if you're at school.
Yeah.
And you would, in between classes, you'd be like,
you know, it's so funny. So in high school, it was either the thing where you looked like Chuck or you was one of the black guys who had waves. And so the black guys used to carry the brush. And brush their so you would walk into the bathroom in between classes, and that noise you get from the brush. That's
That's funny. Hey guys, this has been fun. I really appreciate everybody's attention and also being here tonight. And we'll talk offline about some additional upcoming events. Speaking of which, one might also be the Mule Day Festival. We need to know if we're doing that or not. We need to go for first place this time, you know. But maybe we can get the Mr. Cafe 305 himself up here.
I will definitely go because things are in a much better place. and I'll let the wife sell sauce by herself, hey, forget about it. I'm going.
Well, I mean, that you would be the exact opposite of the stock market today if your wife is selling them the sauce by herself. Anyhow, guys, everybody have fun. Everybody be safe, be careful, and do the right thing. And everyone be good to yourself.
Cheers, y'all.
Good night, guys.
Cheers.
Okay.
Again, brothers.
Slanjava.